video is on an Oklahoma road trip idea that takes the traveler to visit 2 National Park Service sites, 5 National Historic Landmarks, a National Wildlife Refuge, a National Forest, an active military base, Oklahoma's first resort town, and the state's 2 largest cities. We begin this road trip in southwest Oklahoma at Fort Sill Military Reservation and visit the nearby destinations of Lawton, the Wichita Mountains Wildlife Refuge, and Medicine Park. We then travel north 2 hours to visit Washita Battlefield National Historic Site in Elk City. From there, we drive to the middle of the state to spend time in Oklahoma City before traveling east for stops in Ponca City and then Tulsa. I suggest that this road trip be completed in 1 to 2 weeks. However, if you are passing through, I highly recommend spending a day in an area that interests you or finding a few stops along your drive. If you only want to hear about a specific area, the chapters with times are listed in the description. At the end of this video, I will list by region impressive Oklahoma destinations not featured in this road trip but worth looking into. If you have experience or insight into any of these destinations, please share your thoughts in the comments section so travelers get another perspective and more information. Please support this channel by subscribing and turn on the notification bell for new video alerts. If you are interested, this information is also on my website at travelguidesfromchris.com, and there is a link to my Oklahoma blog in the description of this video. Oklahoma is in the United States Great Plains region and became the 46th state in 1907. Prior to statehood, the region was Indian Territory. The Indian Removal Act of 1830, the Trail of Tears, and the Land Run of 1889 are significant historic events that are worth educating yourself on. Oklahoma has the highest population of Native Americans, and its name comes from the Choctaw word for red people. The headquarters of 39 indigenous nations reside in Oklahoma, more than any other state. The different tribes in Oklahoma have deep and significant heritage to preserve. Remember, over 100,000 Native Americans were forced out of their ancestral homelands. The Osage and the Quapaw are the earliest known tribes in eastern Oklahoma. The 5 civilized tribes, the Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Muskogee Creek, and Seminole, migrated to Oklahoma from the east as part of the Trail of Tears. During the U.S.'s westward expansion, Western and Plains tribes to include the Apache, Comanche, and Kiowa were relocated to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's state flag is a tribute to Native Americans and is patterned after a Choctaw war flag carried during the Civil War. The Osage tribe shield with its 7 eagle feathers honors the traditional bison hide shield of the Osage warrior. The 6 crosses are Native American symbols for stars. There are 2 peace symbols on the flag, the First Nation ceremonial pipe and the European olive branch. Oklahoma is the 28th most populous state and is made up of 80% farmland. Oklahoma's leading industries are mineral production, telecommunication, food processing, transportation, energy, and aviation. Oklahoma's top 5 agricultural products are wheat, cattle and calves, hogs, broilers, and dairy products. Historic Route 66, the Main Street of America, has its longest drivable stretch through Oklahoma and features an array of quirky attractions. The Arcadia Round Barn is the most photographed barn along Route 66. Oklahoma has the 3rd most tornadoes, and the state ranks 3rd in wind energy production. A portion of the Oklahoma West was part of the Dust Bowl, also known as the Dirty 30s, and the classic movie Grapes of Wrath filmed 2 of its locations in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is home to Hobby Lobby, which was founded in 1972. Sonic Drive-In restaurants began in 1953 as a hamburger and root beer stand in Shawnee, and now has its headquarters in Oklahoma City. While getting around Oklahoma on foot, keep your attention on possible critters on the ground. Cottonmouth snakes are venomous and are often found around bodies of water in Oklahoma. The state is also home to a variety of lethal rattlesnakes. It can get extremely windy, particularly in western Oklahoma. I can verify the notion about the harsh winds. I've received wind burns on my face on multiple occasions, particularly during cold winds. We start this road trip in southwest Oklahoma at historic Fort Sill. Fort Sill is the last active frontier fort that was built for the positioning of cavalry troops during the Indian Wars. Major General Philip H. Sheridan claimed the location in 1869. The entire garrison was built by troops, with most of the construction completed by the Buffalo Soldiers of the 10th U.S. Cavalry. The purpose of the fort was to protect Texas and Kansas settlements from hostile tribes, but by the 1880s, Fort Sill became a sanctuary for indigenous tribes from outlaws, livestock thieves, and boomers. The National Historic Landmark Museum features a self-guided audio tour around its original post-quadrangle and limestone buildings. Significant structures include the Quartermaster Corral, Post Chapel, which is still in use today, Apache Hospital, Cavalry Barracks, and Post Headquarters. The museum has interpretive exhibits that explain frontier life and the history of the fort in the late 1800s. It is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. There is no entrance fee. If you are interested, Fort Sill is home to the U.S. Army Artillery Museum that offers guided tours, as well as the Air Defense Artillery Museum. Other historic sites include the Fort Sill National Historic Tar Pits, Medicine Bluff, and the cemeteries where several prominent tribal members are buried. During your drive, you will notice signs leading you to the Apache warrior Geronimo's grave, a popular destination. To obtain a visitor's pass to visit the historic sites and museums, stop at the Visitors Control Center at the Sheridan Gate. All that is needed is the driver's license of the vehicle's driver and identification for all others. Everyone will receive a quick background check. After receiving your visitor's pass, you will also be given a map of Fort Sill that will guide your drive. The city outside of Fort Sill is Lawton, which was named after a well-respected quartermaster who worked on the fort. Henry Ware Lawton, an Ohio native, was killed in the Philippine-American War, making him the first American general officer to be killed in action overseas. The city of Lawton is home to two incredible museums, the Museum of the Great Plains and the Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center. Both museums are in the Elder Thomas Park, which is home to hundreds of prairie dogs. The Museum of the Great Plains educates visitors on the cultural and natural history of the Great Plains. The museum focuses on life in the Southern Plains and in southwest Oklahoma. There are many hands-on activities for children to include taking apart a bison, searching for fossils at a dig site, and shopping at an old-fashioned general store. The most popular interactive exhibits are the immersive tornado theater and the 1830s trading post. The Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center features interactive exhibits, over 3,000 relics and artifacts, the most comprehensive collection of Comanche fine art, and panels detailing the traditions, culture, and history of the Comanche Nation. Some of the highlights of the Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center are an exhibit honoring the 17 Comanche code talkers, the first Comanche Nation flag, a bison hunting game, and biannual rotating exhibits that are displayed in the middle gallery. While in the Lawton Fort Sill area, I recommend eating some longhorn beef at Meers Store and Restaurant in Meers. The Food Network named the signature Meers burger the best hamburger in Oklahoma and stated that it was probably one of the best in the United States. In 1978, the Meers store was listed on the National Register of Historic Places since it's the only surviving structure of the once Meers mining camp. North of Fort Sill and 25 miles from Lawton is the historic Wichita Mountains National Wildlife Refuge. The ancient Granite Mountains took its name from the Native American tribe that once inhabited the region. The scenic Wichita Mountains National Wildlife Refuge is managed by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service System and is 59,000 acres of mixed grass prairie, lakes, streams, canyons, and mountains. The refuge was established in 1901, originally as a forest reserve and then as a national wildlife refuge in 1936. Popular activities at the refuge are wildlife viewing and nature trails, fishing, camping, picnicking, rock climbing, mountain biking, and hunting. On most days you will see bison, longhorn, elk, and deer. There are prairie dog towns which have convenient viewing areas off the roads. Furthermore, be on the lookout for one of the 3 venomous snakes that live in the area: cottonmouth, western pygmy, and timber rattlesnakes. The refuge has a rugged beauty that make it an amazing outdoor adventure. There are 30 miles of 16 designated hiking trails, some of which require scrambling over rocks and boulders. I absolutely love hiking at the refuge, and my favorite trails so far are Elk Mountain Trail, which requires some climbing, but it's worth the effort for the wonderful scenery, and the Wichita Mountains 40-foot hole trail, which runs along a canyon that includes a river and usually has a stunning waterfall. The Dog Run Hollow Trail system is popular for hiking in the refuge. For the best vantage point to see the area's natural beauty, drive the 3-mile paved Mount Scott roadway up to Mount Scott's summit for fantastic views. The road is open during daylight hours and is closed to vehicles on the weekends until noon for hikers to trek the road. The holy city of the Wichitas is a magnificent work of art that is 66 acres of the Wichita Mountains National Wildlife Refuge. During the Easter holiday season, an Easter Passion Play called The Prince of Peace runs on Palm Sunday Eve and Easter Sunday Eve. The production started in 1926 by Reverend Anthony Mark Wallach, and today it is the longest running Easter pageant in North America. The holy city of the Wichitas was created to look like Old Jerusalem during biblical times and features several full-size structures. You can explore the grounds and appreciate the replicas year-round. The Holy City is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and then 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. There is no entrance fee, but a donation box is on site, and there is a gift shop that sells maps of the complex. In 2019, the Holy City became a National Historic Landmark. While in the region, you have several accommodation options. You can camp or stay in a cabin in the Wichita Mountains. Check out Doris Campground on the website recreation.gov, or search on travelok.com for links to reservation websites. Both Lake Latonka and Medicine Park have first come, first served camping. The region has plenty of lodging options. However, during the summer months, you will need to book your weekend accommodations in advance. During my last visit, we chose to stay in an eccentric accommodation called Uncle Jed's Tool Shed in Medicine Park. The rental allowed animals, was across the street from the dam, and had a short walk downtown. About a 15-mile drive from the refuge is the quaint cobblestone town of Medicine Park. Medicine Park was founded in 1908 as Oklahoma's first resort town, and popularity grew in the 1920s. The red cobblestone community is charming with a lot of character. The historic downtown is filled with eye-catching specialty shops, and there is a nice walkway along the water. Some claim that the Medicine Creek has healing powers. There is swimming available at Bath Lake, where water is continuously running through from Medicine Creek. Swimming is allowed from Memorial Day to Labor Day. If you are interested in fishing, Medicine Creek is stocked with trout beginning November 1st through March 15th, and the park has signs indicating the sections. Across the street from the lake is the Old Plantation Restaurant, which was built in 1912. The historic restaurant serves delicious locally styled meals. The chicken fried steak and fried okra are popular dishes. Rumors state that the Old Plantation Restaurant has been visited by Bonnie and Clyde, Machine Gun Kelly, and Al Capone. In 2017, the Medicine Park Aquarium and Natural Science Center opened. It features over 90 native and non-native fish, reptile, amphibian, and mammal species, along with the 6-acre botanical garden. Medicine Park is a refreshing getaway. There's plenty of natural spaces and a great night sky. I recommend spending a few hours downtown checking out the shops and eating at a restaurant. Medicine Park seems to be experiencing a revitalization from when I first visited 10 years ago. There are newer buildings and a lot of construction and renovations going on. After spending time in the Southwest, we traveled north 2.5 hours to visit Washita Battlefield National Historic Site. The Washita Battlefield National Historic Site is operated by the National Park System and is a National Historic Landmark. Start your trip at the Visitors Center, watch the orientation film, and check out the informative exhibits. The museum teaches the clashing of the different cultures and the Native American suppression that forced tribes onto reservations. In 1868, General Sheridan gave Lieutenant Colonel Custer the mission of leading a campaign against the Cheyenne tribe. The mission was given because there were Cheyenne groups performing raids in Oklahoma and Kansas. On the snowy dawn morning of November 27, 1868, the 7th Cavalry conducted a surprise attack on a sleeping Southern Cheyenne village. The troops did not conduct a reconnaissance or properly identify the people who were living on the reservation land. The 7th Cavalry, led by Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer, slaughtered men, women, children, and domestic animals. The non-violent group of Southern Cheyenne were led by Chief Black Kettle. The brutal attack on the peaceful village was a turning point in forcing indigenous tribes onto reservations. After spending time at the Visitor Center, head outside for the 0.4 of a mile handicap-accessible Dust and Fire Trail next to the building. The trail educates the readers on the extremes of life on the plains. You can also hike the easy 1.5-mile Washita Battlefield Park Trail. Half of this self-guided trail is wheelchair accessible until you reach Black Kettle's village near the Washita River. Another interesting stop on the hike is the Custer Knoll. This is the mound where Custer had his command post and observation point. The Washita Battlefield National Historic Site is located alongside the Black Kettle's National Grasslands, which is operated by the USDA Forest Service. The forest area provides 12 free, non-electric campsites, and RV hookups are available at Lake McClellan and Lake Marvin. The Black Kettle National Grasslands is also popular to hunt deer, turkey, and quail. Our next destination is 30 minutes away. Elk City is along historic Route 66 and about 2 hours from both Amarillo, Texas in the west and Oklahoma City in the east. John Steinbeck called Route 66 the Mother Road in his classic novel Grapes of Wrath. The key attraction in Elk City is the National Route 66 and Transportation Museum. The museum highlights history of the route through all of the 8 states from Illinois to California. The museum shares vintage automobiles and motorcycles, historic photos, and colorful displays to include an homage to the movie Grapes of Wrath. You will also find a nice Popeye collection in the Route 66 Museum. The giant Kachina doll, named Merle, in front of the museum has been greeting Route 66 travelers since 1962. If you are interested in purchasing Route 66 merchandise, you'll find a collection in the gift store. Another great attraction right next door is the Elk City Museum Complex that contains 3 additional museums. The Old Town Museum displays Oklahoma pioneer life through period artifacts and old building replicas or facades. The Victorian House has exhibits on 2 floors with a couple rooms dedicated to local celebrities like Butler & Sons Radio Company and 1981's Miss America, Susan Powell. The Farm and Ranch Museum showcases early farming tools and equipment. The Blacksmith Museum demonstrates how metal objects were created. The Elk City Lake Park offers camping and 5 RV parking spots with water and electric hookups for $15 a day. Please continue to watch part 2 where I will cover Oklahoma City, Ponca City, Tulsa, and share other great Oklahoma destinations that are worth considering. If you have some insight or tips on the destinations in this video, please share them in the comments section for other travelers. Please subscribe and check out my other road trip idea videos. Thank you for watching.